Hello, good evening. Welcome. We're going to be chatting about oils and emotions tonight. So if you've got an oil, grab it. What we're going to start with is scent tenting. As people hop on, whether it's live or replay, grab an oil. I'm going to grab Valor. This is one that I am in love with, is one I've used for years, and it is a really great oil for grounding us, giving us confidence. It's one that I without fail applied before every single class, event, live speaking, all of that kind of stuff. So if you've got an oil, grab it. I'd love to hear what you've got. Comment below, and I'm just going to do a few scent tents. Now, I'd love to hear how you feel after that, after you do a scent tent, what oil you picked, and we are going to be chatting about oils and emotions. So this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I started using oils for acne, for hair loss, for very physical symptoms, almost 6 years now. But what I soon realized was that a lot of those physical symptoms had emotional roots or emotional causes, right? They were just coming out as physical things, and I was doing all these things to try to fix the physical symptoms that I was having, but I didn't focus any part of what I was doing on essential oils or emotion. So I am honored tonight to be able to share chat about oils and emotions and how powerful it can be for our body. So we know that our emotional health and how we're feeling emotionally relays that physically for us, and how we're feeling physically can relay to our emotions. So they are definitely intertwined, but we maybe sometimes have more of a focus on the physical side. So one of the most powerful uses for oils is the brain and our emotions. Have you ever noticed, I want you to sit and think for a minute, have you ever noticed how smells like maybe pies or baking bread or cinnamon buns, I always remember, can send you back to a childhood memory like that? Maybe it's a memory with your mom or your grandma or a relative, or just something that you did back at that time. For me, it's my grandma's laundry used to smell like, I don't know, whatever laundry smelled like. So I always remember that. Or baking will remind me of something, right? And that is because scent is a really powerful tool for emotion and for memory. So it's helpful for us, obviously. We want to have good memories and remember things, but it's also really powerful when we are using it to support our mood, our emotions, our emotional health, our mental health. Okay. So smell is actually one thing that can access your limbic system, which is a part of your brain that is basically the control center for emotions, memory, mood. Oils can reach the brain within 26 seconds, and they absorb into your skin topically. So you can apply them topically, like I did, rub on my neck. You can take them internally if they're approved for use. Young Living has some essential oils that are approved for internal use. Or we can inhale them, like I did with a quick scent tent, or diffusing. And that's actually the most effective way to be able to reach our brain when we're working with emotions, because it doesn't have to bypass anything, right? If you put something on your skin, it's got to absorb, get through the fatty lipid layer of your skin, which is great. And oils topically are amazing for that. If you ingest an oil, if you're taking it, we've got a plus line and a vitality line. It's got to be taken, get through your stomach, filtered through your liver. It takes time, right? But when you inhale an oil, so whether it be just breathing it in like that, whether it be scent tenting like I did at the beginning, whether it's with a diffuser, it bypasses all of that. So it reaches the brain super, super quickly and can get into that emotional center of the brain. So it goes through your nasal cavity, your olfactory membranes in your nose, right through your blood-brain barrier, into that limbic center, which is our emotional control center of the body. Oil molecules are actually smaller even than virus molecules. So they cross that barrier, get into the limbic center, and they can do amazing things for us. If you have ever felt a support or a shift or a change in your energy, your mood, your emotions by using an oil, I would love to hear you share it in the comments, whether it is live or on replay, because those are really powerful stories that I think if you've never tried an oil for emotions, you're like, gosh, like I don't believe in that, or that can't do that. And that was me. So I know how you feel. If you were like, is that true? Like, can it really work? I like, emotional things and oils and meditations and all those kinds of things more so over the last few years, but I'm also really like science-based and logic-based. I have a nursing background. So for me, I was like, I need to know like how this works and why this works. So if you're ever curious, there's tons of information on PubMed. If you just circle like essential oils brain, essential oils mood, essential oils depression, essential oils anxiety, you'll find tons of information that is peer reviewed, research-based, that is so powerful for learning. Okay, so Kaya says, I used to use citrus buds all the time to keep me upbeat and focused. Yes, and studying. Peppermint is a really great one for memory and like memory retention and studying. So citrus oils are so good for mood boosting. That's when there's some really cool studies about lemon that you can search up. So when we think of emotions, most of the time we might think like, oh, I don't want to feel bad, or I don't want to be unhappy, or don't want to be sad. But oils have a negative and a positive polarity. So we need to be able to access, feel, process, absorb both of those polarities to be fully alive, right? If we are only ever feeling one polarity, one energy of our emotions, we're missing out on another piece of it, right? We do need both sides. So when you're using oils for emotions, it's not to say like, oh, you're never going to have a hard day, or things aren't going to, come up that trigger you, or you'll never be sad. Like, that is not true. Oils are just tools that can support us to help process, navigate, and sit with those emotions and be able to show up in a better way that serves us. So, we are always, especially in this day and age, in an overload of information, thoughts, feelings, and our body builds an emotional response to those things that we see, we hear, we read, our experiences, and emotions can have an effect on our body. So think of how you feel mood-wise, emotions-wise, when you're physically in pain. Like, how great do you feel? How do you feel physically when you're sad or unhappy, right? They're so linked, our physical and our emotional body, like it's one, right? But sometimes we only focus on the physical side of things, or we don't give ourselves that time and grace to support ourselves emotionally, and they're just intertwined. They need to be supported. So when our emotions happen, our body enacts with a fight or flight response, which is part of our endocrine system. And this is normal. This is good. Like if we have fear, if we have stress, but our hormones kick into high gear and we get a lot of adrenaline. And this causes trauma to our body, both mentally and emotionally, as well as physically. It can show up in things. So our physical health can actually be impacted by our emotions. You may have heard of studies. There's tons of studies out there about how detrimental stress is to the body, obviously for how we're feeling mentally and emotionally, but actually on your body, your joints, inflammation, like stress can physically affect you too. So it is important that we are, supporting both pieces of it. So one reason that essential oils work so well for this is because the constituents are naturally made of things that help with stress in the plant. So they weather storms, they're helpful with, bacteria and fungus and all that kind of stuff. So they are built to strengthen that plant, both physically and emotionally. They're there to be that plant's support. So that's a really cool thing that oils do for us. Quality is super important when you are looking at essential oils. Not all oils are created equal. And this is something that I did not know when I first started using them. So I had tried a couple other brands before and I was like, what's the big deal? Like, I just didn't feel any shift, any difference. I wasn't using them for emotions. I was using them for physical stuff like head and neck tension and digestion issues, but I just didn't feel anything. So that is a reminder to check the quality of the products that you're using. So I'm making sure there's no chemicals, fillers, synthetics. One amazing piece that Young Living really focuses on is our seed to seal commitment. And that means that there's nothing else in that bottle of this frankincense only has the actual plant that was grown. There's very ethical, sustainable practices, and there's nothing else in the bottle. So from the seed to the seal that comes straight to your door, everything's packaged up, tested in a way that we don't lose any of those chemical constituents in the plant, those precious pieces of the plant that made it so special and so powerful for that plant growing, right? We're just taking it and, harvesting it and utilizing it in a way that we can package it up and get all the goodness out of it still. So, like I mentioned before, PubMed is a really great resource if you want to look at anything related to oils. So there's tons of information. Find someone that you align with on Instagram, whether it's me or somebody else. And then if you're curious, if you're more like, I need to know the reason why or the science behind this, go check out PubMed. So helpful for just learning about what oils do for us. So like I mentioned, they go to that limbic portion of the brain. So mood, memory, where stresses or emotions are housed. So if we can use something that is a quick tool, and by quick I mean literally within seconds, it doesn't have to pass anything, it doesn't have to be digested or processed. I just breathe it in, and breath is super powerful for our emotions too. And it goes to that portion of my brain that is related to all of my emotions. That's where my control center is. So that is powerful. So what we want is that our oiling becomes on autopilot. And when I say that, I don't mean that, you're just rolling something on and you're like, this day sucks. This is just, people suck, I suck, and just rolling on and thinking that's going to change things for you, because it won't. You need to be intentional. But when I say an autopilot, I mean it's instinctual, it's automatic. So maybe you have a rhythm or a flow or a routine where you want to add in oils. So for me, I do a morning practice and an evening practice focused around some self-care practices. So in the morning, I do meditation, affirmations, apply my oils, and I do yoga. In the evening, I apply my oils and I do a meditation. So if there's a practice that you already have, I suggest anchoring oils to that. So maybe it is meditation. Maybe it is just a moment of mindfulness. Maybe it's going for a walk every day. Maybe it's just even brushing your teeth. If you can anchor in your oils with something that you're doing to be more instinctual and automatic, that's when you're going to start to feel changes. It's not going to be just applying an oil once and thinking, everything's great and no worries, I can still be my grouchy self and not care and just apply an oil. That's not what it means, but it's just to be that automatic where you get in that rhythm and the flow, and you'll start to feel the shifts, as well as when you need your oils. So once you start using them, you will be able to know, I'm feeling triggered, I'm going to grab an oil, or I'm feeling a little stressed, I'm going to grab an oil, take a moment to breathe and focus on myself. That is the point that you want to get to. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't take a long time, but that you are in tune with your body and your needs, so that you can say, I'm feeling a little stressed. I'm going to take a moment to myself. I'm going to go in my car, breathe in oil, take a few deep breaths and realign myself. Because that is where you'll truly find magic, is when you're able to support yourself in that way that you know how you're feeling and you can support yourself. Like I said, it's not going to magically, make hard days disappear, but it will make things easier for you emotionally. So the beautiful thing about oils is that there's no right or wrong. You're using something for emotions. If you are drawn to, let's say, lemon. If you're drawn to lemon, grab a lemon. Use it, apply it wherever it feels good. People always ask, I don't know how to use it, or I don't know where to put it on my body. That's your that's your gift, is to be intuitive and say, I really like lemon. I think I'm gonna, just take a little bit, drop it in here. I'm gonna breathe it in, and then I'm gonna put the rest on my neck. Just be intuitive wherever feels good for you. There are a million different guides and resources, and I can send you some information about things specifically to use oils in certain places on your body. So I every morning do what's called a Great Day Protocol. It is, let's see how many oils it is. It is Valor, Harmony, Joy, White Angelica, and then I always add Release. So 5 oils every morning. I breathe them in and I apply them on each specific parts of my body. So for example, Valor is between my wrists. I generally put it on the back of my neck. Harmony is on my energy center, kind of my sacral chakra area. Joy I place over my heart. White Angelica I use over my body like a protective shield. And Release I place over my liver. If you're like, gosh, I don't know how to do that, I don't know how to, how do you know where goes what? Just use something. Just grab an oil that you are drawn to, like I said, whether it's lemon or Valor, and just use it on your body and let yourself guide you, right? Yes, there's places you could be putting them specifically that might, tap into what you're trying to support. For example, Release is a really beautiful, beautiful oil that I love, and it helps with anger. And your anger is housed in your liver, which is underneath your ribs on your right side. So yes, I apply Release there. But is it any less effective if I apply it on my wrists or behind my ears? No. So just remember that you're the one that's in control, right? You're the one that's using it. Just get them on your body, get them, diffusing in your home, and you will start to feel the shifts. So let it be easy. Some tips that I have for using oils for emotions is tenting or inhaling like I did before. So that would simply be like, this is inhaling. Tenting is where you roll it in your hand or put a drop in your hand and cup your hands and inhale. You can use oils topically. Some places that I like to use them for emotions are behind my ears, on my wrists, the back of the neck, even the bottoms of your feet are really good just to kind of ground you. Diffusers. If you do not have a diffuser next to your bedside, that is a big, important place to have our emotions supported, because when we sleep, we rejuvenate, right? We're resting, we're healing. So having your diffuser going for bedtime is going to help you obviously with sleep, and then you're going to feel, more refreshed and light. But it's also going to help with your emotions. So that's a big one, is throw it on before you get ready for bed, whether you're having a shower, getting your kids ready, whatever. Toss in your oils first, let it diffuse, get into that room so you get into that, state of emotional support and rest, and then let it diffuse overnight. Even in the morning, get into the habit of waking up, maybe taking water in the morning, having your NICSHA, taking your supplements, making a morning coffee or breakfast, and turn on your diffuser for the day. That can help your mood immensely, and that can shift something so simple, just getting into the habit of having the oils there for you. Carrying your oils with you is another tip I have, because you're going to need them. If you put on oils in the morning and you put on oils in the evening, that's amazing. You're probably going to need them throughout the day, because that's just life, right? Life is messy sometimes, it's tricky and heavy, and we're going to have emotions that come up, and we're going to be in situations where we want to use our oils. So for me, I carry my oils always with me, just in a little bag, pouch. I'll put them in my lunch bag, and on break at work, I will apply them, because even before I need them, because I know that they're there and they're there to support me. So I might roll on Valor behind my ears when I'm on break, just to give me that kind of grounding and confidence and support. Even though I maybe don't feel stressed yet, it is okay to use your oils before you need them, okay? Another really great way to use your oils is in the bath. So if you pop oils just in a little container of Epsom salts, throw that into the tub, just let yourself heal from it. And most of us have had an Epsom salt bath, but have you added oils in there that support you emotionally? Have you, allowed yourself to rest and recharge and use that as a, self-care practice, but also an emotional support practice? And then the last tip is anchoring and stacking, like I mentioned. So habit stacking or anchoring is just pairing it with something you're doing already. So if you have oils already and you are not consistent with using them, put them where you'll see them, whether it's, next to your toothbrush. I have to put my thieves next to my toothbrush because I forget to put it on all the time. I'll put it on every night on my feet, but I need it next to my toothbrush. For me, I carry, and it's just because we travel lots to the lake in the summer, but I put lots of my frequently used oils, my everyday kind of supports in here, and I just move it kind of from one area to the other. So in the morning, I'll use it in the bedroom, or if I'm doing yoga, I'll do it in my office, and then I'll carry it back and I'll use it in the evening. So it's just kind of a place that I have all my go-to oils. For you, it might be, maybe next to the coffee machine or in your purse or wherever feels right to you, but having it in a place where you're going to see them, and then stacking it with a habit that you already do. So I didn't want to overwhelm everybody with sharing about specific oils necessarily. I will share a couple of my favorites, but just know that whatever you choose, you can truly use it as an emotional support oil. So, for example, even Digize, which is known for like upset stomachs and nausea and cramping, that is an emotional support oil. And why it is because how do you feel when you have an upset stomach? Not good, right? I get grouchy, I get moody. I just don't feel good physically, and that affects my mood hugely. So that is even technically, I would call it an emotional support oil, because the way that you support yourself physically relates to how you are how you are emotionally and mentally. And the way you support yourself emotionally and mentally impacts how you are physically. So just know that whatever you choose, there's going to be an emotional support for you. So whether it be a starter bundle, picking different specific oils, there's going to be an emotional support for you. So a few of my favorites I will go over just briefly are frankincense. And frankincense actually has a natural chemical constituent called sesquiterpenes, and they help increase oxygen in the limbic system of your brain, which helps unlock DNA and allows emotional baggage to be released from your cellular memory. Like, how cool is that? And frankincense, for example, is only grown in 2 places in the world. And we have a farm there with Young Living. So that is powerful to be able to have frankincense grown in the right soil, the right climate, the actual, true essence of that plant and that tree that we are able to bottle up for us to be able to use as support. So frankincense is what I love. I will apply it by my ears, wrists, definitely use it for yoga. Honestly, it's great. I use it all the time. My friend likes to use it, and I have done this a couple times when she's feeling anxious, just to take a little drop and rub it in the gums, and it helps just kind of like calm you and ground you. So frankincense is a really beautiful one that I love. Lemon is another nice one that is really great for mood boosting. So any kind of citrus oils are going to help brighten and uplift, and they're really great for any kind of like sadness or depression. Another one that people love that I actually don't have with me on hand, but that I like to make into this is called like a diffuser balm. It's just a mix of oils that are pre-mixed so that you can easily use them. So I pre-mix my frankincense, my lavender, and my stress away, and that is an aroma freedom technique blend, which I won't get into, but it's another emotional kind of tool. And I have it pre-mixed, and I pop it into my diffuser for sleep. So Stress Away is another one that people really love, and obviously Stress Away, you can gather the name from it, but that is a really great sleep blend that I love. And then Joy is another one that I actually hated when I first smelled it. It's quite floral. But there's an old saying, I don't know if it's true, but that if you don't love the smell of an oil, your body really needs it. And I actually did not love the smell of frankincense or Joy when I first got them. So Joy is basically it's one that I use over my heart every morning, and it helps just open up that heart area. So open up your heart chakra, open up your heart, and just kind of heal from anything that's like heart related. And I want joy in all areas of my life. So I apply Joy over my heart every morning, and it's another beautiful one to diffuse. And then the other oils that I love, again, like I said, don't let it be overwhelming. It gets to be easy. So pick 1-2 oils for emotional support, so you get a feel of what works for you, what doesn't work for you, or you want to support. Reach out to myself, reach out to the person that invited you to this class, and ask for support to help kind of guide you on which ones to choose. So if you pick a starter bundle, great, you're going to have emotional support oils in there. By no means do you have to have 10, 20, 5, like pick something and start with it. Using one and being intentional with it is going to be more powerful than trying to wrangle 10 and trying to get comfortable with it, okay? That being said, the ones that I use in the morning, I do something called a Great Day Protocol. So it has Valor, Harmony, Joy, White Angelica, and then like I mentioned, I add Release in. And then in the evening, I do the Feelings Kit, which is actually kind of the way I started using oils for emotion, is every night meditation and feelings kit. That one has these three as well, are release, harmony, and valor, as well as inner child, present time, and forgiveness. So those are pretty self-explanatory, right? Like, what is inner child? Obviously, it's going to be connecting us to our inner child. What is forgiveness? Obviously, it's going to be about forgiveness. So, like I mentioned, don't let it overwhelm you. If you are like, I'm really drawn to that inner child one. What is that about? What is it going to do for me? Then start with that. Starting with one thing, one place, and getting super intentional with it is going to change your life when you are super consistent and intentional with using your oils for emotions. So this is a topic I love. This is something that I enjoy and I do every single day to support myself. There are so many different tools and tips and things that we can do to support our emotional and mental health at home that I don't think it's talked about enough, right? We can do so many things for ourselves and we can heal ourselves in so many ways. And we also can get support in so many ways, which is really important. So if you have questions about oils and emotions, please don't ever be scared. Please reach out to myself or whoever invited you to the class. And I hope that was helpful for you. I'd love to hear from you guys.